we are in a generation where you got to be careful about where you get your self-worth from. Because if you get it from likes and views, then you'll always be for sale. You will always be for sale at the right price. And that's a very dangerous and a very scary society to live in when it comes to what we value and what we're willing to do for self-worth. So this is my fourth take and I'm tired. Okay, I'm tired. I came on here and I had a plan. I'm going to scrap the plan because it's not working. Let me tell you something. These videos I've been making, they're good. I like them when I look back. But I'm so serious in the videos. And yes, I'm trying to convey some serious stuff and some serious topics. But I'm really not that serious in real life. And I don't understand why I turn into this buttoned up professor when it comes to YouTube. And I just don't kind of know how to like be my normal self, which is very silly, very easygoing, very lighthearted. Anybody who knows me would look at my video and be like, wow, like you really have a serious side to you. And let's be clear, like I really do have a very serious side to me, but I also play all day. Like I'm a very jovial, upbeat kind of person, and I'm having such a hard time letting that translate on camera. I'm having such a hard time, and I'm trying my best to fight through that. And I want to share this with you guys because I think, you know, when I look at my growth of the channel, I'm still sitting at 600. It goes up, it goes a little down, it goes up, it goes down. And where's the growth? Why isn't my channel growing? You know, and I'm thinking like, maybe am I having a hard time connecting with my audience because I'm so serious and most people are unserious, like my true self. So it's hard to relate. Like, what is it that's making it not grow? I think also, obviously I have to put more videos out. I'm talking about it's not growing and I haven't posted a long form video in weeks, you know? So I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out, and I wanted to make a whole different video, but I'm making this one instead because I'm trying to really document the realness, right? I want to document the side of this thing that's not the most fun, that's not the most glamorous, because I want people to understand, like, or if you're watching me and you're like, man, I want to make a YouTube channel too, I want you to see all the stuff that really happens and what goes on. I do have other successful YouTube channels not doing this, but this is something that I really want to do. I really want to connect. I really want to help, and I really want to uplift. Like, that's just what I'm here to do. But I'm finding it a little bit difficult to be my true self. So I feel like there's a part of me that's getting more used to, like, I guess putting myself out there and letting myself be seen. And I think that's an issue or something that a lot of other people can relate to. It's scary, right? To be seen. Like right now, I want to go like this and be like, is it okay? Is it safe? And it's not safe. Like, you guys are seeing me. It is not safe. I am not okay. I am in danger. And that's how it feels a little bit when I press record. I feel like I go into fight or flight. And that's why I think I'm so serious, because I'm ready for the attack. And it sounds so crazy. It sounds so dramatic, because it is, and I am. And I'm learning how to like calm down and put myself at ease, because I'm just simply recording. All I did was press record and sit down and decide to make a video. What about that is making me feel so high strung to the point where I'm welcome to my channel and I hope everybody can take this seriously? And that's not going to do it. That's not going to be it. So I guess one lesson you guys can take from me, and again, this is very off the cuff, but I feel like it can be helpful. One lesson you can take from me is to not take things so seriously. And I'm trying not to, because I have a very perfectionist nature about me. I'm very black and white. I find it very difficult to operate in gray areas. I've gotten better over time, but I'm still struggling. Okay, I'm still struggling with not having proper lighting and not having the proper setup and you know, press and record and just doing this whole thing. It's still very cringe, is I guess, you know, one of the more updated words to say. But yeah, guys, that's how I'm feeling. And if you feel like that too, please let me know down below in the comments, or tell me, because there's so many people who want to say something and express themselves. So let me know, like, what stops you? Is what I'm saying, does that connect to you? Or do you have something else that stops you? Because for me, I think I've always been a little bit inward where I feel a little bit uncomfortable expressing my true self. And maybe that can come from a myriad of things, upbringing, wanting to have like this perfect image, get good grades, do well, people please. But then you kind of grow up and you don't know what to do. Like you just almost like a copy of yourself or a shell of yourself in some regard. And I don't think that we should do that. I don't think that we should do that to ourselves. I think we deserve to really be heard, and I think we deserve to be seen, and I think we deserve to be loved. Because essentially, when we stop ourselves from putting our true self out there, what we stop is being loved. Because allowing ourselves to be seen is the only time we can get true love, and that's what we all seek. We want true love from our partners, from our friends, from our family, from those around us. If we look at our basic needs, one of them, and then one of the biggest ones, and probably the most biggest need that we each have, is to be loved. And to show up in the world as a copy of ourselves or a shell of ourselves or 2% of our true selves is always going to, it's gonna act as a repellent for what's actually for us. And I don't want anybody to walk around with that repellent. I want everybody to be able to walk around receptive to love, because we deserve it. We really, really do. I deserve it. You deserve it. The man down the street deserves it. We all deserve it. And I think that that's another reason why I'm showing up and doing the damn video anyway, even if it's something that, doesn't get seen or it doesn't get as many likes. I'm also learning in this journey not to even value myself based off of likes and comments and all that, because it could become something that is extremely consuming in a really negative and unhealthy way. We are in a generation where you got to be careful about where you get your self-worth from, because if you get it from likes and views, then you'll always be for sale. You will always be for sale at the right price. And that's a very dangerous and a very scary society to live in when it comes to what we value and what we're willing to do for self-worth. So I found myself the other day, I post on TikTok too, and I think broke like 2,000 views, and I saw it. I was at the gym and I saw it on the treadmill and I saw it. I put it down and I felt a little sense of pride pop up. I think I, perked up a little bit more, put the shoulders back, and went on my little, my incline on the treadmill. I'm like, Alyssa, hold on, what's that? Are you feeling yourself? Cause you got 2,000 views on YouTube or on TikTok. Are you really, like, what was that? And then I really looked into that, and I'm like, yeah, that made you feel better. And I'm not trying to take away from my moment or the fact that I hit a new high that I hadn't seen on that platform, but I want myself to feel that same way when I get 0 views, when I get 2 views and no comments, no shares, no saves, no likes, none of that. Because that lets me know that my self-worth or how I value myself, it's intrinsic. There's nothing outside of me that could make me feel better than I feel now. And I'm teaching myself that. I'm not there, right? Because I just told you I got all high and mighty when I was on that treadmill. I looked over at the guy next to me like, what happened? Yeah, I got 2,000 follows, 2,000 subscribers. Moving on. So, I don't want my self-esteem to come from things like that. I want my self-esteem to come from things like character, things like integrity, a strong moral compass, walking in my purpose. That's where I really want my self-esteem to come from and to build on. And that's where I'm learning to place my attention. When I think about my day, it's like, how was I impactful today? How did I get to move with some integrity or some dignity? How did I get to help someone? Did I get to serve? Sometimes I wake up and ask, please give me somebody to serve. And it happens. When I ask, it really happens. And random people ask for money, or there'll be a little old lady and she got a whole bunch of bags, and I'll stop what I'm doing and help her. And I don't need to get into all the things that I've done, to help people and all that, because I think that's just between you and God, you and the Most High. But I'm just bringing that up as an example, because on those days, I should feel just as wonderfully as I felt when I got that pseudo sense of self-worth from my 2,000 views on TikTok. And when I think I walk around and view life from that vantage point, it helps me be more at peace. I'm not constantly checking my social media accounts and seeing, did I get views here? I'm not constantly being in a space where I'm looking for validation. Because as much as I think we as a society hate to admit that we are validation hungry, I think we are. I really think we are. I don't think that we get on this place and this platform and just post for ourselves, right? I don't think we do that. I don't think, we're posting body pictures and new outfits and cars and clothes and vacations for us. If we're doing it for us, we're there. We're at the vacation and got the new car. So why does everybody else need to see it? But for some reason, the society and the generation we're in is so consumer hungry and consumer based, but yet we're so afraid and so, I guess, so ego driven or too ego driven enough to admit that. And I look at it and I'm just like, yeah, we are. And I am. I'm not going to even say we. I'm not going to generalize it. I'm going to take my accountability here and say, yeah, I think in some ways, for me, I'm seeking validation. I'm seeking for people to tell me, you're doing a great job, Melissa, or this video was great. I really learned something today. And yes, I want that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I think it becomes more of a negative kind of thing when you're looking for attention in that way. Because when we're looking for attention, it's usually because there's something inside of us that's not being met. And no one else can meet our needs like we can. Right? So that's when we need to look within and look where we're deriving our sense of self-worth and our self-esteem from. Because if it's from out there, then what happens when they tell us they don't like us? What happens when they reject us? What happens when they tell us that we're not good enough? Are we going to internalize that too? Because if you're internalizing the 2,000 views I just got, you can't tell me and turn around and say, I'm not internalizing when I don't get views. Because you have to. That's law. And that's the principle of the whole thing of deriving your self-worth from views or things outside of you. And I just want you guys to also be aware of that, because that's something I just recently noticed. This is not something I've sat on for years or for months or for weeks, but it's something I really came face to face with very recently. This was maybe like last week, and I was like, yeah. And ever since then, I became a lot less concerned with views and things of that nature. And this extends beyond social media, right? I'm not just talking about social media. We can use this as an analogy. We could be seeking for love or seeking for validation from partners or people or our work to tell us all the great things about us, to tell us that we're worth it, or to tell us that we're amazing. When really and truly, we should be healthy enough to know that and to walk that and to come from that space. And I think when we get secure enough to be able to show up in the world that way, the world will respond differently to us. I think that's when you might get the validation that you've always wanted, but when you get it, you don't necessarily need it. Because again, what you are attracting at that point is a reflection of you. Just like when you are in a space where you're looking for validation, you don't get it because you're seeking it so much. You're seeking it so much and you make it flee from you. But it's like when you loosen up and ease up, be easy about it, and feel like you're already that girl or feel like you're already that guy, knowing that you're making impact, whether you just help an old lady today or you impact millions of people with a video that you created or a speech that you gave, a book that you wrote. Understand that that impact is the same. And we should be feeling equally happy when that reaches who it's supposed to reach, because that's us being in our purpose. The person who helped the little old lady isn't any more or less effective than the person who helped 100 million people. Because at the end of the day, it's all about your intention. How are you showing up? How are you showing up for yourself and for others? And when you choose to show up in such a pure way and let your integrity lead you, let your love lead you, let your desire for growth and inner joy, let those things lead you, then the world responds to you in such a different way. It's so powerful because I think things start to work out so much better. And I noticed that for me too. When I really started to release expectation and just said, like, you know what, it is what it is. I'm not going to go hard about this. I'm not going to be hard on myself. I'm not going to overdo it. I'm going to do exactly what I can do and nothing more, nothing less. That's when I've gotten the best results ever, when I eased up off of it. Because when you think that you're that powerful to change things, sometimes it becomes a mess. It becomes a mess. We're powerful. We're very powerful, but we're not that powerful. There's always something bigger and greater and more complex going on behind the scenes than we could ever conjure up. So I think it's on us to understand that and to surrender to that. Surrender to the idea that I can do this little bit, but the universe or God or Allah is going to do the rest. So don't go out there trying to strong arm the universe and bully it into doing what you want it to do. God doesn't respond to that. The universe does not respond to that. It's going to give you more of what you are. If you're about resistance and you're going out there and expecting things and you're entitled and people owe you and you're mad and you're holding on to this, you're holding that, you're going to get more and more of that. That's the law. But if you approach the world and you approach life from a perspective of leading, like I said, with virtuous qualities like love, joy, integrity, purpose, meaning, that's when you're going to see a huge difference in your life. And to circle back at my beginning point, because I know I'm going a little bit all over the place, but to circle back at my beginning point, I think that when you show up authentically and you allow your true self to be seen, you allow your true self to experience the world from your eyes, not the eyes they told you should have, not the way that they told you should be, not the walk they told you should walk, not the talk they told you should talk, but who you truly are. You know who you are, right? And the purest version of you was that 5-year-old little boy with a 5-year-old little girl. That's who you are. You are that person, whether you were a rambunctious little kid, a curious kid, a silly kid, a funny kid, a serious kid, a righteous kid. That's who you are. You were made a certain way. And I think as we've grown, we have to learn how to have respect for what we are and what we are not. And we can't allow our environment to change our very essence. I think that all of our, or each of our inner child, I think they all survived. I think our inner child has survived in all of us. Maybe the voice is a bit muffled. Maybe we've lost contact with that little voice inside, but it's still there. And only, I think, when you become more still or you become a bit more purposeful. I'm not talking about numbers and getting a promotion and getting a high-paying job and becoming your best self. No, I'm talking about becoming your real self. I'm talking about when you show up as that. That's when you're going to feel the most satisfied, and it doesn't have to come with a number on it. Because again, the value of that is priceless, because now you're finally being who you're supposed to be and who you were always meant to be. Your purpose is to be you. That's your purpose. We don't have to complicate things about, oh, what is my purpose? Should I be an astronaut? Should I be a dancer? Should I be this? Your purpose is to be you, whatever you are. And however you choose to express that in the world is on you. And I think it's as simple as that. It can be that simple, but in so many different ways, we really make it way more complex than it has to be. So this video is made to really encourage you guys out there, if you're especially can relate to me as somebody who has trouble just like kind of just opening up and showing my true self and letting people see it, you know, because sometimes I get no views. Sometimes I get, you know, a few hundred views, and I know at some point I'll get 1,000. At some point I'll get 1,000,000. I'm bringing it in. Okay. Mark those words. I am bringing it in. But I get a little bit nervous though sometimes when I think about that many people like pressing play and me popping on their screen. But now I'm trying to embrace that. Like, yeah, I'm popping on their screen. I should. I deserve that. I should pop up on their screen. Why? Because I have something that's going to help them. I was meant to come across their screen because I'm being my authentic self, and I'm going to inspire someone else to be their authentic self, and it's going to have a domino effect, and the world will be a better place. That's my little footprint. That's my little imprint that I'm leaving on this earth. And I feel like if we can operate from a more pure and authentic place, we'll have the things that we really desire. I think it's just that simple. And I'm going to make some more videos about this stuff. You know, I'll write it out or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll do it just completely off the cuff like this video, because maybe it will reach who it's supposed to reach when I don't put so much thought and effort into it, because this is very off brand for me. It's like 10 p.m. at night. I was like, it's been a minute, Alyssa. Just sit there and figure out what to say. And this is what I came up with. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will absolutely be talking to you guys soon. Thanks for watching.